off this weekend, and then we're right back at her.
I saw that.
Well, see, she moved us. We were scheduled originally the one
Hang
we
on, hang on. Don't talk. Okay, all right, you good.
yeah, we were scheduled. The one that we just played last weekend was supposed to have been like 2 months ago.
Oh,
Franny had some nephew or somebody came in that was going to be wanted to play with some other band. I didn't really understand it. She's like, can we move your date to June? I said, that's fine. I don't care. It puts us, 2 weeks apart, but fine. One's a Saturday afternoon, the other one's a Friday night. So, what did the other guys? You said they sent you a thing with 21 to burn and the crash rocket. What was their response?
they didn't respond.
That band I texted you about the other day, Kings County.
Yeah,
I think they're playing at Earl's in a couple of weeks.
all right. I can't handle.
Next week. I've never seen them.
They use tracks for everything, and I just can't.
Yeah. I can tell. I mean, as soon as you listen to the videos, you're like, what's going on here?
Yeah,
The first one, sometimes they're three and sometimes they're four, but even at that, there's no keyboards and there's a lot of keyboard stuff going on in the background.
a lot. There's a
They're
lot.
playing key tracks. I mean, they have a good look and they have all of that, but it looks like they played in front of a bunch of people, but I don't.
If you want to, it's live right now
Okay.
without sound, just playing this main screen. So if you want to do some sharing, like share it to your high mileage page, they can't hear anything, but they can see it. And we got 6 minutes before we go live, so I'm gonna grab another cigarette. I did the same thing though. I had a gig at Filthy's last weekend, and I'm playing again July 4th. So sometimes you just take what you got.
Exactly. Um, so to do this, you're
It's
talking
on
about
the
shit.
Shovelhead page.
Just go into the Shovelhead or Shovelhead Nation.
No, Shovelhead.
Because they're just doing a post going live on Shovelhead.
No, if you go to the Shovelhead page
Okay.
or my personal page, you'll see it running.
Oh, okay.
Just share it.
I got it. Sure.
Just gonna start her a couple minutes. Tell me all those dirty, dirty secrets. Tell me all your dirty little 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 secrets. All right. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the ShovelHed podcast. It is, well, let me turn this fucking thing down. God damn it. I hate when I do that. I want to welcome you guys to the ShovelHed podcast. And welcome my guest this afternoon is Jamie Ryan from the band High Mileage. And they will be playing on July 11th at Earl's Hideaway Lounge at 8 p.m. So make sure that you guys go down and see them. They're a great classic rock band that does a whole bunch of dance type material. And Jamie is a phenomenal fucking guitar player and a phenomenal singer. Um, you guys are gonna dig it, but they do a wide variety. So they do some funky dance stuff like Casey and the Sunshine Band. They also do some Eagles. They also do some more what would you consider it?
A little more
Commercial,
classic
right?
rock, a little more. We've added a couple different stick songs, that kind of thing. By the way, thanks so much for having me. I
You are
appreciate it.
very welcome. My pleasure.
Thank you for the kind words there. I do appreciate that. Yeah, we've like any band, we're just evolving. And we see that trying to bring a little more punch to some of our stuff. I think when a lot of times when you first start a band, you kind of inherit what you start with, and you try to evolve and start to evolve, but then you still keep this. There's this group of songs that kind of hang with you forever.
Always,
And finally,
forever.
you're like, we got to move on past these. So
Yeah.
this year we've added a bunch of new stuff. I'm working on new stuff last night. Got a Ray Seeger song we're adding. Gonna do an old Toto one that people are really gonna like.
Tell me it's Africa.
Huh? No,
No?
no, hold the line.
Oh,
Yeah, so
all right.
it's kind of
That's
put some
funny.
pressure on me, but
Eric Neal, my the guitar player, he keeps suggesting that one for us too.
yeah,
And it's a fucking great song, and not too many people do it, and especially because of the harmonies.
exactly,
You know,
exactly.
clearly that's the most difficult problem for a lot of bands.
And it's
Is
something that we are fortunate that we've got three really strong leads,
doesn't
good
it makes a
singers.
huge
Yeah,
difference?
it
Like,
does. I mean, everybody talks about Queen. That was
right?
Queen's thing.
Yeah,
They were really a power trio with a lead singer.
correct.
But then they had three phenomenal quality lead singers playing guitar, bass, and drums.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
they
I
all
just think,
knew exactly where their. What I love about it, for me, backup singing is hard um, because I am just naturally. I naturally go for the lead vocal.
mhm.
Um, and for some reason, on a guitar, I can sit down and I can work out all the harmonies in my head vocally. I don't hit them the way that I would want to, which is why
What you hear in your head's not what's coming
it's
out.
never
Yeah,
what's coming out,
yeah.
and so when I look at my guys, like Eric Stone happens, he usually takes the mids,
Mhm.
and Eric Neal takes the super highs, and the very first fucking time that it worked, like I literally got a hard on stage, like it was like, oh my god, like people don't understand that when you're the lead singer and you're able to hear
Mhm.
everybody
Yeah, that's right.
harmonizing
Oh, it's
together,
wonderful.
it is like
It's wonderful.
goosebumps, man.
That's one of my favorite little video clips, and I'm sure you've seen it a million times. Everybody probably has. Is the little thing of the Eagles warming up backstage, just vocally that lockapoto there, the
Yeah.
stars and this other.
Van Halen, I've seen a bunch
I've
of
seen
Van
them do
Halen
that.
ones with
Warm up.
Sammy.
Yeah, there's
And actually, I was just reading an article from Michael Anthony talking about how originally when he joined Van Halen, he didn't want to sing at all.
Wow.
He was the lead singer in all of his bands prior to Van Halen. And when he joined Van Halen, Ed sang all the backups. Dave clearly is Dave. And Michael thought, oh shit, dude, like I could finally just be a bass player.
Exactly.
And then one day he decided to just sing, and they
They're like,
never let him
that's
not
yeah.
sing again.
There's our sound.
Yeah.
That is the sound of Van Halen.
If it wasn't, I honestly, truly believe that without Michael Anthony,
different thing.
it would have not have been the
Not even
same
close. Not
band.
even close.
Everybody goes to
And
Ed.
Eddie's voice also.
Right.
That those two together
Actually,
make that.
until I read that interview, I didn't really think that Ed did too much singing to begin
He
with.
actually did quite a bit.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
until the tongue thing. But yeah,
Exactly.
I mean,
But I will tell you, I can associate with that feeling when when I started back up with Big Bad Murphy in 2008. I hadn't played anything since about 2002. I spent 15 years in really the Christian environment, in like the we were doing rock and roll worship in 1988, where
right.
anybody else was doing that before that whole thing became. We were really on the forefront
Yeah.
with that, and I spent 15 years in that world. And
That's funny. My dad was, my parents were born again. And they converted from Catholicism into,
Mhm,
they were going to Methodist
mhm.
churches. Actually, my father was the only white guy in an all black church,
Nice.
because it's where I get my love of music from. My father loved the praise and worship
Mhm.
parts of it
Yeah,
because when you go to a black gospel church, it is unlike anything
it's a
you have
total.
ever
That's right.
witnessed before.
That's right.
And I don't give a shit who you are. You don't have to be a Christian. You will walk out of there a
Oh
Christian.
yes, you're going to
It's
be feeling something.
oh my God,
Yeah, that's right.
it really is an unbelievable experience. But his where the fuck were we going with this?
It's about the Christian stuff.
This is why I
What
take
you
the
do.
gummy early.
There you go.
Oh, so I lived in this little town called Athens in Texas, and the closest Christian music bookstore was 35 miles away in Tyler, Texas.
Oh, okay.
Once a
Or
month,
East Texas. I know.
yeah, so once a month we used to take a trip to Tyler, and that was our mall. You'd go to the mall.
Sure.
My father would go to the Christian bookstore, and now I was into all the metal stuff
Hmm.
back then,
Sure.
and my father would not let me would not purchase anything for me that he felt was overly secular. So I
Right.
had no Ozzy in the house. I had anything that had an image on it that was not good.
Right.
What was awesome though was going there, and they had a whole section of hard rock. So it was people think that Striper were the first, and they
Oh
were
gosh,
not the
no, not even
first.
close.
There was this band called Bloodline
Mhm.
that was unfucking real. It was like they were like a Christian
Mhm.
Metallica-ish without being as heavy, but
Right, right.
that sound. And I fell in love with so
Well,
much stuff.
even early '80s. I mean, Petra
Petra was
were
another one. They were
amazing players.
huge.
There was actually a real close connection between the guys with Petra and the King's X guys. Of course, they, Michael X Volts, whatever his name
Yeah,
was, he lived in Springfield.
I got a great story, King's X story for
Yeah,
you.
but there was a connection there. But yeah, and before that, there was guys. I mean, there was that whole the Jesus movement in the '70s, kind of what they made that movie about a couple of years. Actually, funny because I mean, the church I was in was a vineyard, and I was not Christian at all. This was 1988. A bunch of us all got together that were all just came out of playing in bars, and we are like,
Sure.
start going to the church. It was really a kind of under the prodding of my wife at that
Godspell?
time, but we started doing that, and we were all like, well, why can't we just play what our stuff is? And we would take,
Yeah,
there was already some like acousticy kind of that California stuff that was coming out, and we started really turbocharging that and making it. And like I said, it was full on rock and roll worship. And I
yeah,
did that for a lot of years,
yeah.
and then got out of it in 2002, and hadn't done anything until 2000. Like I said, when with Big Bad Murphy in 2008. I know where we're going with this. About what you're talking about Michael Anthony not wanting to sing.
All right.
When I started with Big Bad Murphy, I showed up with my microphone and a stand and a cord. I wasn't even going to play guitar. They already had two guitar players.
Right.
Before long, one of the guitar players moved away. Then I started playing, and then da 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 da. And then before long, I hate even saying this, but there was kind of a part of it became the Jamie show.
Gotcha.
And I'm more of a band guy. Really.
Listen, I'm the same way.
You don't see me you don't see the Jamie Ryan band.
Right.
That's not what I've ever wanted to do. So I'm very much I like that band.
It's the collaborative.
I love that. And even though a lot of times now, fortunately, in this band we've got, like I said, Doug, our bass player, is a better singer than me. Great musician all around. And so we're able to do that. And Chris Pelini, our drummer, is an excellent singer as well. He started singing about 10 years ago and has really come along. And we're just every time we work, I'm so glad that he's he's really
it makes things easy when your band so Shovelhead's 6 years old, and what was happening to me was I was burning. We burn out, have a tendency to burn out players. It was a heavy schedule, and then it got to the point where I started pulling back because I wanted to be less uh, available. And I canceled a bunch of venues. I just didn't, regardless of the fact, was that through all the members, right? Everybody promised that they were going to sing backups, and they never did.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until this past change last in January, I guess it was, when Eric Neal joined the band, that I finally had 3-part harmony. And it fucking, like I was somewhere around here, I was using the vocal pedals for my harmonies because I couldn't get a high harmony. I could just get me singing that, which is already high. The pedal had to do the high harmony while Eric did the low harmony, and it was the only way to do it. The problem was those fucking pedals are great, but not 100% accurate. So on occasion, you'd get like a sour note in there or a sour something, and you have to really fuck with them.
Well, and the little blue one that you have, and I had one of those as well. That I use just occasionally, just not really for harmony, but to just thicken the sound of just on certain songs. Like when chorus will come back in, I'll kick that in just to kind of thicken the.
I was considering getting the one with the doubler.
Well, I have one of those too, and again, so subtle. I mean, it's a great pedal.
Yes.
I mean, you can't really tell it's on.
You got to have it. You got to watch that level.
Yeah, you can just dial it way back, and I use that. I've got one of the bigger harmonizer pedals that I don't like. I mean, I've played around with it. It's in. If anybody wants one, I'll be happy to sell to them. It's in new condition.
I have 3 of them.
I couldn't get it to really do what I needed it to. But the little blue one does a great
harmony
job.
One, yeah.
Like I say, even when we're doing full harmony, sometimes I'll kick it on. Like I said, just kind of thicken that up, and it's so subtle. I mean, only time you can really tell it's there is if I finish the song and forget to turn it off, and then you say something. You're like,
exactly. You're like, I did that all the time. Yeah. Is that I would the song would end, I'd forget to kick it off, and then I would say something, and it sounds like the
you're talking in harmony. That's right. But no, that's. But like I said, I had Big Bad Murphy. We were together for 10 years, and in 2018, I had some personal stuff went on. I just kind of pulled back on things a little bit. I still had my other group, Big Bad. I'm sorry, Beachside Jazz.
I think we just became live for everybody.
Oh, did we? Oh, we've been sitting there talking.
No, they heard it, but they didn't see it because I didn't. Listen, there is a fucking learning curve to this that is retarded. The software that I use, it's taken me 4 weeks to figure out how to get YouTube synced up properly. So we're live on YouTube, along with Facebook properly, along with proper audio, along with proper lighting, along with proper editing. It's fucking every week.
You got a lot of plates in the air,
dude. Every week I fuck something up, and then I have to make a note, like a mental note or a sticky note, to remind me. Next week, don't forget to do this. So
the audio has been on.
The audio's been on. You guys have heard the audio, but you haven't seen us talking.
Well, there you go.
Podcast starts now.
That's right.
See, the problem for me though with that is we're gonna go all over the place.
Of course, I can tell already.
It's the way I operate, especially since I start my morning off with a gummy, which I've already had, 500 milligrams, and then I go with these. Thank you again, Heather Renee, for the anniversary present. These are fucking awesome, by the way. They're very tea. You can have the water. I'm gonna have the THC drink. So we're gonna get back into your band too, because I want people to. I want the Shovelhead fans to see everybody when they can. But I want to get into some research that I was doing last night when it comes to the music scene here and the lack of a music venue. And when I say a music venue, what happens is people get all upset because they say, "Oh, well, my bar is a music venue," or my. And listen, there is a big difference between a bar that has live music and a music venue that has a bar. The two.
Very different animals.
Very fucking different animals. A bar with live music's focus is selling alcohol. That is what pays the bills. It's what gets people there. It drives the business, the whole 9 yards.
And most here, food also.
Food, correct. And it's usually a 50-48, 52-48 split too when it comes to food and alcohol drinks. Now, the other flip side to that is a music venue, where a music venue is specifically designed for music. It's set up so that the crowd has a great vantage point. They have a dance area that is available to them, and they have a acoustically tuned system and a room, so that you are given the best quality entertainment for your price or your ticket or whatever. And
it's not unlike going to see a concert at the Hard Rock.
Not at all. But see, here,
although that's a bigger scale, obviously, but that is a venue that also has a bar.
Correct.
But
you're going there specifically for whatever music is there,
right?
And then you're going to order your drinks on the side, and as an addition to going to see the music. So I kind of went through. I've been living here now 11 years, and it has annoyed the shit out of me that everything is an alcohol-based bar and not music-based. I don't drink. I don't give a shit about the drinks. I don't care about the alcohol. I care about the people that I'm there to see. And the people that usually come to a Shovelhead show are people that want a little bit more of an entertainment experience. They know that they're going to get accurately-ish sounding vocals, really good musicianship, and I can drive that number. I could drive those numbers based on just the music if we leave it at just the music. What I think is happening here is that alcohol sales are drastically low. And
have been dropping for a while,
for years, and this
maybe
year,
even since COVID, really
before COVID. And I think that what people are the bars don't ever discuss it, and which they should. I wish there was a format where they had bar people come in and had a discussion about the bar side of the situation, so that the average music listener, the average bar goer, can actually see the big picture, because they don't understand the big picture. They don't understand that tip bucket that is usually out for a band is almost a necessity, because the band salaries that are being dictated by the venues don't equal a proper amount of funds for the band. If the band is providing a large enough crowd, so they rely on the tips, and I actually have emails from large venues that say, "Well, congratulations, we're going to raise you to this much." And we hope that all of your tips will make up the difference. And when I saw the email, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, that tip bucket is not so that I can get paid what I'm supposed to by your patrons. You're supposed to pay me
right.
That tip bucket is for my patron, your patrons, or my fans that hear something and say, oh my God, this is great. They deserve a little bit extra. So they throw the tip in the bucket. It's supposed to be a supplement, not a relied on atmosphere.
Of course.
And I know literally of at least 35 musicians from Brevard to Martin County rely on the tip bucket because the fee that they're being paid is nowhere near enough for the work that they're doing.
It's to be honest. I mean, we've talked about this before. It's like I mean, there's no difference from what we were making in the 80s. In some cases, we were making
actually
more.
I'm making less now than I was making in the
back
90s.
Then. Yeah,
and
everything else in the world's twice or three times as much.
This area, the way it was built, it was built to be a vacation touristy area in which alcohol and touristy entertainment was what drove everything. But you see, what you're having now is an influx of people, a massive influx, not even a small influx. It's a massive migration of people from cities that are coming into this area because of COVID and because of the lockdowns, and because of the draconian government systems that are in these cities and the high taxes. And people are coming to Florida and they're moving here in such huge numbers from these cities that the people here are not prepared for what's coming. So if you look around, what you see is you see the traffic is getting ridiculous. The roads are not prepared for them. So little by little,
in the last couple of years, construction has picked up. We're seeing a lot of construction everywhere. Everywhere I go, I see new construction.
Vero Beach probably has, I'm gonna say at least 50,000 people's worth of apartments being built, still being built. So within the next year, this population of this little town is going to explode. Now, when you look at the situation, so Brevard has almost 700,000 people in it. And that's from Titusville, Cocoa Beach area, all the way down to the border of Sebastian. Okay, and then Indian River has about 170,000.
I was going to say about 160, 170.
170,000 people for
and that's up. It used to be numbers. 5 or 6, 7 years ago. It was at what, 130 or 1.
Supposedly, Brevard has doubled over the last 5 years. If you listen to Google,
and it's a big area. It takes in, there's a couple of bigger cities there. You got Melbourne and Cocoa.
Correct. But you go Brevard with 700,000 almost. Indian River with 169,000 and something change. Then Port St. Lucie, St. Lucie County has 380,000 people. And then Martin County has 130,000 something people, and it translates up to 1.3 million people in 101 mile radius
within an hour and a half drive. That's right.
There is not a single. I had some guys say to me earlier today that you got the King Center and you got the blah 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 blah. Those are not locally available music venues. Those are venues for national acts. ZZ Top, Joe Bonamassa.
Right. Exactly.
You're not getting any of your local bands. Not even any of your B-level.
Occasionally, Sunset, you'll get some.
Occasionally, or you'll have something like it's packed is Summer Crush Winery. On the weekends, they can pack it out with some of their tribute bands, but it is also not a concert experience. It is a low volume type of a situation. And my honest. I come to this conclusion, okay, is that if you look around and you think about it all, like I said, in the big picture, I love music and I love bands. I love it. I love live music so much. I don't go out because for the last 5 years, I can go and look at a band. I can go see a band that I saw 5 years ago, right? And then I can go and see them this weekend, and it's the same exact set and same exact people that I saw 5 years ago. So I don't have any reason to go and see that band again. I've seen you once. That's fucking enough.
Right?
They're not changing their structures. They're not looking at the marketing avenue of it in order to bring people in. They're not doing the work necessary to drive the market up. And what's happening here between the lack of alcohol sales, which is causing some of these bars to hurt, the lack of consistency and quality, and the lack of original uniqueness, okay,
Right.
is going to drive people away, and or it's going to get to a point where they're going to have to institute cover charges. So my personal feeling is that within the next 3 years, if not less, I'm going to say 2, you're going to start seeing $5 cover charges at every single music venue around here.
And I don't doubt that one bit. I think I think it's something that's been coming for a while. At the same time, some of the ways that the venues are set up will have to evolve. They're just, I've said since I first came here and started seeing, this has always to me been the oddest like live scene that I've ever seen. I mean, I'm from the Midwest.
I've been saying that for years.
Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, but I've traveled all literally everywhere plus Canada and Mexico. I was on the road for years and that kind of thing. So I've seen every little town and I come here and I'm like, and there's a lot of great venues. A lot of people have put a lot of work into trying to make a great place. But a lot of times you see a place that it's like if they can cobble together 2 sawhorses and a piece of plywood and put a sign out front that says that we're the something bar, whatever, then they're, man, let's sell beer as fast as we can because we got to make payroll, and it's and then after a while somebody said, well, why don't you have live entertainment? Well, so they shoehorn 12 square feet over in the corner, maybe not even that much, and start get a 1-man or a 2-man, and then they want to have, well, let's do full bands. whereas so many places that we used to see, and I hate to be the, well, in the old days, in the great old days, things were so much better. But as far as venues, you would have places that would have 500, 600, 700 people in them. They had a stage, they had a balcony, they had this, they were serving. Now, how I will say that something that came along that I dealt with more than you did, because you're a little bit younger than me, was the concept of a beer bar, beer and wine bar that changed in 83 or 84 when the law changed. Put a whole industry out of business because there was, for every one liquor bar, there was 5 beer bars. The old beer joint thing. All they sold was beer and wine.
And not only that, but your regular venues that were hard alcohol had a beer trough, or somebody dedicated to serving only beer.
Yep.
So,
but you had a crowd from 18 to 21 that they had somewhere to go, and then suddenly the law changed, and then where does a 19-year-old doesn't want to? I mean, a 40-year-old doesn't want 19-year-olds in the bar,
right?
And a 19-year-old doesn't want to hang out with kids in high school, of course. If there's that whole group that just got, well, there's no place for you to go now, so sorry. And that was probably 70 to 80% of the places we used to play.
Yeah.
Were those beer bars. The younger kids, of course, we were younger then also, but all of that deals with it. And like I said, but big places, big stages, sometimes national, not just national touring acts, but touring acts, lower level touring acts. And there was. I mean, it was a great time.
It was a great
time. And I come
all
down
the way up to about 2008. That happened.
And then, like I said, when I came down here, I'm like, everything is, first of all, it's outside. Yeah. I mean, 3 weeks ago when it was so hot, we played that weekend. We played that weekend you played. I mean, everybody kind of worked that weekend. And on Sunday, I was looking at everybody's posts going, how many of you got sick?
Yeah.
And I was like, we were all just like, it is so hot. I mean,
I was playing Philly Down South, which I love. And it was so fucking hot that normally what we do at Philly Down South is do 2 hour-and-a-half sets, or hour and 15-minute sets, and then we take a half-hour break and then come back on. It was so fucking hot. I could only get to 40 minutes before I was overheating. And so
I find myself running out of air. I'm trying to sing, and I'm like, I can't get enough air in. I'm getting tired. My voice is starting to get a little weak because the set's going on, but I'm like, why can I not get enough air?
And you're drinking like a fish.
And it's coming out. And can't piss a drop because I'm sweating. I go to the bathroom. It's painful to try to pee because it's like you're sweating everything out. I'm pounding Gatorade. I'm trying to get that, and you're right. It's so like I said, you come down here and there's that. And like I said, again, the way that a lot of the bars now, not all of them, there's some great outdoor bars. There's some great indoor bars as well. I mean, gosh, a lot of places we played, whether it's Filthies or Willies or some of the ones down south. We started playing at Conky Joe's, great stage down there, great crowd,
beautiful looking.
Just such a great place. Philly down south, another great one. Now they're kind of indoor outdoor, but at least they're covered. That's the thing I love to see, when you're protected from the elements, and that's a big thing to me. I mean, again, with one of the things which you see the bars up north, so many of them. I just came back from Tulsa. I was in Oklahoma to see my kids. My best friend lives in Tulsa. We went and saw two bands that weekend, and so many of them, they will provide. I mean, the house system is already there. They provide a full system. They've got a sound man.
Mm-hmm.
It's all there. You can get in, you can get off the stage. Not a big deal. We're here, like whether you're playing at Earl's or any of them, where we're playing. We played this last Saturday 2 to 6, and we did it with all of our gear, which is an hour and a half setup time. We were off the stage in 35 minutes because Crash Rocket was coming out.
Right.
But that's if there was, in some of those situations where if they had a house system set up, we would have to bring our personal gear. And you can get off there in 10, 15 minutes. Easy. But with all these outdoor venues, I've got my $40,000 worth of gear out there completely exposed to the rain and the element. And we've been rained on before. I was lucky we didn't lose anything because we got rained on hard.
I hear this excuse, right? I've physically seen the excuse from a venue here that is an outdoor venue. We don't mention names, but people can pretty much get the understanding. They refuse to put a house system in, and they use the excuse that we're too close to the water. Okay. There's waterproof fucking systems. You're building enclosures.
You're building enclosures around it. Yeah.
It is a lack of wanting to put any finances into creating an atmosphere. And so what has happened here is that these guys,
I see places that I swear if they would do a little bit of work,
just a little.
So many of them, they look at Earl's and what happens on Sundays. Huge ass crowd. You can't even find a place to park. You can't, when you guys play or some other ones.
Depends on who's playing.
On who's playing. Yeah. But I mean, on certain days, and I know they look at that and go, why can't we do that? And I'm thinking to myself, because you don't create an environment that's conducive to that.
Not only that, but so look at the lineup, okay? And unfortunately, a lot of bands fall into this trap of that lineup. Is that Friday night? I'm going to use you as an example and a hypothetical. This is a made up example, so don't jump on Jamie and don't bust my balls. The hypothetical is you're playing Earl's Hideaway Friday night.
Uh-huh.
Next Saturday, you're playing at Captain Hiram's.
Mm-hmm.
On Sunday, you're going to play at the Sebastian Tiki. Now, me as a fan, as a music fan, and you as a musician, you're trying to win over a fan base.
Mm-hmm.
Because in your mind, you're thinking the more people I get here, the more money I can command.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now that is the mindset of every musician and should be the mindset of the musician. I want to entertain. And I don't want to entertain in front of 20 people or 50 people. I want to entertain in front of a lot of people. I want to walk away from there feeling like I won over an entire crowd. And there is not a venue here that can supply that for anybody. Okay, because none of the venues, from Brevard to Martin County, can survive on their bookings because the bands will fucking play anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
They will play anywhere and everywhere that they can, if they know that they can command $1,000 from every place that they book. They're going to book every single place that they can for $1,000 because in the mindset, they want to make a living. Okay. Now, what that does is it completely fucks everything up for every band that is not reliant on that money and wants to create something. Now, if you were a person in a band growing up where you wrote your original music,
mm-hmm.
you had a
done a lot of that.
You knew that you had to take. 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 You knew that you A through Z steps in order to get anybody on the planet, anyone, to fucking listen to your original music. You would share it, you would promote it, you would hand out flyers, give away free CDs, you would t-shirt, everything that you fucking could do to get people to pay attention, you would do it.
Right.
It doesn't happen now. There is no avenue other than Facebook for those that are 45 years old to 60 years
That's right,
old.
because nobody under
old.
that is not even on it anymore.
They're not on it anymore. And they don't go out, okay? When they do go out, they're going out to Coachella. And they're going out to Rockville. And they're going out to these places where the ticket prices are so fucking high for these kids. My son, 25 years old. In order for him to go to something like that, it's too much money for them to take out of their pocket because they can't afford to live in today's society to begin with. So to buy a ticket, now they have to finance the ticket.
My daughter paid $2,000 to see Lana Del Rey.
Dude.
I'm
like, but did she pay it or did she finance it?
I think she paid it. She makes pretty good money in her job. I'm still like, that is insane.
It's insane.
That is insane.
And so what ends up happening now is, okay, now the ticket masters and the Live Nations and all these companies that are in control, they found another way to get the percentage out of you. So what they've done is they know that the kid's going to you're going to use a credit card, and they're going to blow up their credit card at 39% interest, and they're going to grab it. So the smart guy said, dude, I can get them at 29% interest and save them 10% interest, but still make.
And then I still make the money. That's right.
And the kids are like, oh, I only have to pay, $14 a month for the next 7 years to pay for that one concert. You're like, you got to take out a fucking mortgage. These car prices. My son sells cars, and he's in New York, and his ads come up all the time, and they're like, only $6.99 a month, and I'm thinking, who the fuck's got $700 a month for a car payment? Because I don't. I'm a one-car family, and I stay that way because I need to keep my costs fucking low. I want to buy equipment. I can't do that if I got 2 car payments and 2 insurance payments and a house payment and all this other shit.
Don't I know?
Well, so back on track here is that what I am starting to see here is that we're running the system here into the ground. Okay, because if you take a look at the state of music, okay, you can Google the numbers, please, by fucking God, before you start talking, do some goddamn research. Music no longer has any lasting power. Okay, so you can even take a Taylor Swift, right? Richest fucking artist in the world right now. Chick is making millions. 20 years from now, nobody is going to give a flying fuck about Taylor Swift. Same with any of the artists that are releasing music right now. 3 months from now, it's a flash and it's gone. Okay. You can say what you want. The Coldplays of the world and the Imagine Dragons of the world and the Shinedowns of the world, they're doing great now. They're not Guns N' Roses.
Well, the ones that have ground their way through, and to me, one of the best examples is Blackberry Smoke. They just toured and toured.
So that's the only way to do it,
because they recognized that their crowd was an older crowd. They're not trying to play to 20-year-olds,
right?
And they just toured and toured. Dirty Honey, another one, has just played so much that they created their own market. But
their sound.
But you can, you can count those bands on one hand. That have really accomplished anything.
So now but even still, those bands are never going to. I should never say never, because I pray.
Well, they don't sell. I mean, they don't sell big numbers.
And they don't, because of fucking streaming.
Well, there's no that industry is gone.
That industry is gone, which means so the general public has placed a small value on the purchase of music, okay, which is going to negatively affect what gets released, which is going to negatively affect what gets savored. Okay, so if I played Hotel California every fucking person from the age of 25 to, well, maybe not anymore. I'm going to say anybody from the age of 40 to 70 knows that song. And that is a huge demographic. That's also the demographic of people that can afford to spend money again.
Just played that at a funeral 3 weeks ago.
I love that song.
Played that at a funeral.
Did you really?
Did you really?
I was a little like,
yeah. I played that in Mexico.
But it was. I mean, it went over great. It was perfect. It was right. But I was like, first I was like, that song really?
My original band was playing in Mexico, and we got asked to play it like 4 times in a night, and we were just like, all right, man, if that's what you want, you got it.
It was just me and my buddy on acoustic guitars, and it came out fine.
Yeah, but it's this. So
anyway, go ahead.
That's a song that is going on what, 50 years old now?
Oh yeah, every bit of it.
50 years old, and anybody that has ever heard it can whistle that solo from start to finish, like without being a musician. It is a master class of how to write a song for lasting
and a solo. That's right.
And the problem that I see is that 30 years from now, if there are any places for live music left, the kids are going to be playing the same songs that we're playing now. You're still going to hear "Sweet Child of Mine." You're still going to hear "Don't Stop Believing."
Yeah.
You're still going to. These are songs that are never going to go away, and that people are going to be playing until the end.
Well, they're going to become our new American standards. Like,
and they have to because
for this generation.
You know what, dude? I think I fucked this whole thing up. I think the music has been playing this whole time. Like I said, I'm learning my scenes and all this other shit, and I have to turn some volumes on and some volumes off. And I don't know that this actually. I don't know that anybody's paying attention because. It says we're echoing. There's no video. Blah blah blah. Bail money. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. Because it should be. You guys can't see me. Which means we may have to end up redoing this whole thing, because I think we just went 37 minutes. Nobody saw or heard anything. I don't know.
I just texted.
I can't tell. I can't tell because the phone is.
I just texted Penny to ask her, because she would have been watching and ask her if what she's seeing.
So I can bring up comments, right? Is that I can see on here, I can see the Facebooks, and it says still echoing. Penny said yes to something. Video now.
Yes, but echoey.
Huh. All right. What about now? So the audio has been there the entire time. I see you, Keith. I heard you. Can you still hear me? Somebody say yes or no. All right. So this is what I'm going to do. This poor fucking guy. I had to reschedule him yesterday, and I don't know if this is working properly right now. We've been hearing everything and saw most of it.
Nice.
Well, I mean, at least that's a good part of this whole thing. Listen, I'm fucking learning how to work this properly, and my learning curve is not so good when I smoke pot or eat gummies or things like that. I thought I got this fucking thing worked out, and I was running YouTube and Facebook at the same time. But apparently, I'm going to need like a guy.
You might have to get a guy, or get Megan here and how to make sure everything's working.
Or I'm going to set it.
You've now expanded to a crew
permanently. Yeah. So that we do it well, perfect every time. Thank you guys for commenting. Listen, I'm using a software that's called Prism. Let's discuss this, okay? Because once I get this fucking down, everybody on their planet should be doing this themselves with their bands. So it's an app called Prism, which is an open OBS software. It's open to anybody to fuck with. And you create scenes using different sources. So if I want to have an intro, which I played, you guys saw the new intro started this fucking thing, but I didn't turn it off. And so I kept going on in the background while this video was, or scene 2 was playing this fucking thing. So you're hearing and you're seeing all kinds of weird shit. And
she just said still echoey.
still fucking echoing.
Still echoing.
Then I don't know what the fuck is going on. So what we'll do is we're going to end this until I can figure out what the fuck I'm doing. And I'm going to have Jamie come back in here on another day, maybe next week, and we will get this thing going. And I apologize to you guys. So because it's a big learning curve. There's a lot of microphones in that are dealing with sound. There's the camera that's dealing with sound, and the light sources, and this fucking stupid software that's driving me crazy.
Well, it looks. I mean, on the thing, it looks good.
This looks good.
This looks good, but I don't
whether
know.
or not it's there.
What's happening on there?
Know,
She said still echoing.
All right,
so
all right. So
Anybody else
comment or say anything?
I don't know.
I can't tell because I just turned it off. All right.
Yeah.
All right. That might work. Are we still echoing? Somebody tell me. There has not been an echo in the past. Fuck
That's
you,
right.
Keith.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. All the way yesterday. We're gonna start this over a different day because now at this point I have interrupted Jamie's time at least four different times with fuck ups on this live stream. So let me get the live stream figured out, and we will get him back in here and reschedule this properly because I don't. It's important for me to have these conversations with you guys, and it's more important for me for you to learn about the bands and the people that I bring in here. Last week when I had Jonathan here, the audio got fucked up. Today, something's not right, so I have to try to figure this out, and then we'll get it going again. Give me 7 days until next week, and I'll get everything rescheduled. I'm sorry. Love you guys. You know I love you.
Before we go, I do want to give a shout out to the guys, all the guys in high mileage. Jason Amy on keyboards, Doug O'Malley on bass. Sorry, my brain's not working. Doug O'Malley on bass, Chris Pellini on drums, and Christopher West. Oh my God, I forgot. I spelled his last name out. Christopher runs our sound for us. Great guy. Love him to death. And we will be seeing you guys next week at Earl's.
At Earl's Highway on July 11th. Make sure 8 p.m. Who's before you? Do you know?
It's on a Friday, so I don't know.
That's good.
So I think it's just us. I don't know if they're doing anything earlier.
Friday night's good. It's a good night. It doesn't. People don't think it's a good night.
We had a good gig Saturday. We had a good crowd. I mean, our crowds are so. They're small, but hyper enthusiastic. We made great tips. I mean, the crowd was like. It was great. We have a small but enthusiastic crowd that every time we get in front of them, it works.
The trick that you guys, if you could still understand me, the trick here is for you to share. So let's say you go and you see High Mileage Band and you fucking love them. When you go home, actually while you're still fucking there, you should just post their Facebook page. Find their Facebook page, share it. That's every band that you go out and see. Because the only way to get the crowds to respond is if more people refer their friends to a band. The bands are struggling. They're fighting hard to make sure that they entertain you, especially if they're bands that don't come around too often. They're putting a lot of work into it. They're giving you as much of their time, and they're trying to change things up to make it worth your visit. Your repeat visit is extremely important for the growth of any band and the growth of any music scene is repeat business. And the only way to give repeat business is to give quality and something different each and every single time. And we all fall into the trap. I can tell you that while I was changing band members, a year would go because it takes a full year for a band member to feel comfortable within that band setting.
Yeah, sure.
A year would go where we didn't add any songs because there were 40 songs that new person had to learn. And then finally you get to that point where you can start adding new songs and you lose the band.
Well, or something happens. Oh my good Lord! I'm getting old. I don't need THC to forget things. I forget my kids' names. Played with Resonate. Plays with you sometimes.
Oh, Doug.
Doug.
Yeah.
No. Not the guitar player. Played with you at
Tom
McGrain. Tom McGrain had gigged with us a few times, rehearsed with us a few times. By the way, Tom, love you, man. You know this. I don't have to tell him. He knows this. Great guy. Everything was great. He had pretty much committed that he was gonna come aboard. Had been looking for a second guitar player for a while, and then his personal life changed, where he had a bunch of horrific shit happen in his life, and then he changed jobs where he was working. He went from working in St. Lucie down to West Palm, and he was like, the problem is, I mean, we rehearse in Sebastian, but he's like, man, so on you guys, when we're rehearsing, man, we get in there and work. And so he was going to have to like get off of work at 5, drive an hour and a half to Sebastian, rehearse till 9 or 10 o'clock at night, drive home, clear out to Okeechobee,
and then the next morning go to
be up at 5 in the morning. He'd get home at midnight to be up at 5 in the morning to go to West Palm to work. I'm like, I get it. We love you. We wish we could make this work, but I get it. And he's found a wonderful home with One Eyed Willie now. I think they've been doing great.
And they're great.
They're a great band. They've really, when I first saw them, I was like, oh, they're decent. Man, they have come along. I want to give you guys credit because you really have come along.
Tom's a great guy.
He's just the sweetest guy ever. I love working with him.
We are going to end. I will reschedule Jamie to come in here when I got this fucking sound working right and we're not echoing all over the place. And I love you guys. Go see High Mileage on July 11th. ShovelHed is in Fort Lauderdale this Friday at Cagney's House of Rock. Let's all go make music.
All right.